अस्सलाmu alaikum dear students, hopefully you are all fine. So आज मैं आपके लिए MCQ का पेपर सॉल्व कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है. So that you can prepare yourself for the CIE mini exam July-August 2021. ओके, और प्रैक्टिस के लिए हम क्या कर रहे हैं, अक्टूबर नवंबर 2019 का MCQs IGCSE का पेपर हम सॉल्व कर रहे हैं. सो वी आर गोइंग टू सॉल्व दिस पेपर. अच्छा, यहाँ यू हैव टू मेक योर सेल्फ क्लियर कि बेटा आई एम गोइंग टू प्रैक्टिस इट फ्रॉम द प्रीवियस पेपर्स, बट योर एग्ज़ाम इज़ फ्रॉम मिनी एग्ज़ाम्स, क्योंकि मिनी एग्ज़ाम पहले पाकिस्तान में नहीं हो रहा था, इसलिए पेपर कोड चेंज है, but syllabus code is the same, so we have to follow the same syllabus. Okay, so as we were preparing for ourselves for the May-June 2021. So going and starting the paper. If you have any problem related to the question, so you can discuss it in the comment section or directly ask me if you have my WhatsApp number. So the first question is, the rate of diffusion of gas depends on its molecular mass and its temperature. So the question is, which combination of molecular mass and temperature gives the slowest rate of diffusion? So we have to remember that any molecule with a higher molecular mass will diffuse slowly. Similarly, if the temperature of the molecule is lower, then definitely it will going to move slowly and diffuse slowly. So keeping these 2 points in your mind, we can say that the molecule with the higher molecular mass and lower temperature will definitely diffuse in a slower rate. Okay, so we are going to opt the option B. Okay, the next question I'm going to solve is, a student is asked to measure the time taken for 0.4 gram of magnesium carbonate, as this is the mass, and for measuring the mass we have to use the balance, and you can see that there is no balance used in option D, so we are going to eliminate it and we have to cross it. Then to react completely with 25.0 centimeter cube of dilute hydrochloric acid. So for 25 centimeter cube we are going to use pipette. Okay, so then as we are going to measure the time taken, for time taken we have to use the stop clock or the stopwatch. So that's why the best option we are going to use is A, as 3 of the equipments, that is balance, stop clock and pipette, are all present. Okay, the next question which we are going to solve is question number 3. This is related to the the chromatography. Substance Q was investigated using chromatography. The chromatogram is shown, the diagram is not drawn to the scale. So this is just for the help. And the question is, what is the RF value of Q? So you have to remember what should be or how to find the RF value. The formula for finding the RF value is the distance traveled by the sample divided by the distance traveled by the traveled by the total. We can say, I'm going to write that formula. The RF value which we are going to measure should be equal to the distance traveled by the sample, distance traveled by sample dye over distance traveled by solvent. Traveled by solvent. So this is the main formula which we are going to use it. Now all of the distances are there, starting from the baseline. Remember that we are always starting from the baseline. So from the baseline till the solvent front, this distance is called as distance traveled by the solvent, and the distance from the baseline till the middle of the spot will be called as the distance traveled by the dye. So what we are going to do, this is the 83 mm, so we have to subtract 13 mm, and then we are going to divide by 129 minus 13. Why I'm going to minus it? As this distance should not be included. So yeah, remember that we are always going to start measuring from the baseline. So if you calculate the values by substituting the values in this formula, you will definitely get the answer. And as I calculated by myself, and according to that, the answer is 0.69, which is C. So you have to opt option C. But आपने क्या करना है मेरा बेटा? You have to calculate it by your own self, and if you found any difficulties, then you can discuss. So I'm proceeding with the question number 4. MCQ number 4. Which statement about an ionic compound is not correct? So number 1, or option A, is it conducts electricity when dissolved in water. Yes, this option is correct, and we have to choose the option which is not suitable to the ionic compounds. This is true for the ionic compound. B, it has a high melting point. Yes, till this point it's fine, due to strong attractive forces between the ions. Yes, this is fine too. So ये option भी ठीक है. In option C, it has a regular lattice of oppositely charged ions in a sea of electrons. Till this point, from this till this point, it's fine. In a sea of electrons, this is not correct, as in ionic compound there is no free or sea of electrons. So we can say that C option is not correct for the ionic compounds. Then for question number 5, what is the total number of electrons in one molecule of ammonia? So for that you have to draw a situation. In the situation we have nitrogen. Remember, nitrogen has 2 electrons in its first shell, and it has 5 electrons in its last shell, and is going to make one sharing with the hydrogen, and as a result it will have like this. So now you have to count. The question was, what is the total number of electrons in one molecule of ammonia? So the total number of electrons, in short, we can say 7 electrons are there in nitrogen atom, and as we have 3 hydrogen atoms, each is sharing 1, so we can say total 10 electrons are there. Total 10 electrons are there. So the right option is C. Next, for question number MCQ number 6, rubidium has 2 isotopes. One is rubidium 3785, one is rubidium 3787. So there is a difference of 2 neutrons. Which statement explains why both isotopes have same chemical properties? So you have to remember, the chemical properties only depends on the valence shell electrons or the outer shell electrons. So for that we are going to choose the option B. They have the same number of outer shell electrons. For MCQ number 7, which statement about the structures and properties of silicon 4 oxide is not correct? Again, focus, which we are going to find the option which is not appropriate, or which is not the property of silicon 4 oxide. Remember that silicon 4 oxide is a giant covalent molecule. So it has a giant structure similar to that of diamond. Yes, this is fine. Diamond has a tetrahedral structure, and the silicon 4 oxide also has a tetrahedral structure. So this statement is correct. It has a high melting point due to the strong attractive forces between the molecules. So somehow we can say this option is not fine, as silicon 4 oxide itself is a giant covalent single molecule. So the forces of attraction between the molecule, this point is not correct. Remember that silicon 4 oxide by itself a one giant molecule, so there should not be attractive forces between the molecules. So this option is not appropriate. so we are going to choose this one. Then question or MCQ number 8, which statement describes the structure of copper? So what we have to say, copper is a metallic structure or metallic bonding in it, so we can say it has a positively charged ion surrounded by the sea of delocalized electrons. So for that, what we are going to choose is the option number C. It has a lattice of positive ions in a sea of electrons. So this is true for all metals, and copper is a metal, so that's why we have to opt this option. In MCQ number 9, phosphorus react with oxygen to form phosphorus 3 oxide as shown. This is the equation. Which mass of phosphorus 3 oxide is produced from 6.2 gram of phosphorus? So just to make a ratio method or apply a ratio methods, unitary method we can say as well. Here we have to find the mass of phosphorus 3 oxide, and we are provided with the 6.2 gram of phosphorus. According to the balanced chemical equation, 4 moles of phosphorus are involved to produce 2 mole of phosphorus oxide, phosphorus 3 oxide. So the ratio will be the phosphorus ratio phosphorus 3 oxide P2O3. According to the balanced chemical equation, 4 moles of the phosphorus are involved to make 2 moles of the phosphorus 3 oxide. So according to situation, we can say that as the AR of the phosphorus, using the periodic table, you can find it very easily. This is the periodic table, and you can see here is the phosphorus. The atomic mass of phosphorus is 31. So we can say that 4 atoms of the phosphorus times 31, the answer will be 124. So 124 grams of phosphorus are involved to produce 2 moles of the phosphorus oxide. Here we have to find the molecular mass of the phosphorus 3 oxide. We have 2 atoms of phosphorus, which is 31 is the AR, plus we have 3 atoms of oxygen, and 16 is the AR of oxygen. By using the calculator, we can do some calculations, and here 2 times 31 plus 48 so the right answer is 110. But as we have 2 units, so 2 times 110, that will be equals to 110 times 2 is 220. So now we can say 124 is involved to produce 220 grams of the phosphorus 3 oxide. If the mass, as we are going to use 6.20, if the mass is of the phosphorus used is 6.20, what should be the mass of the phosphorus trioxide or phosphorus 3 oxide can be produced? So it will be 220 times 6.2 over 124. So use the calculator, you can easily find the answer, and this is 6.2 times 220, and then we have to divide it by 124. The answer is 11. Okay, and for that we can say the right option is C. Hopefully you understand. So proceeding with the next question, this is question number 10 on page number 4. Calcium carbonate is heated. Calcium oxide and carbon dioxide gas are formed. The equation for the reaction is shown. 225 kg of calcium carbonate is heated until there is no further change in the mass. The yield of the calcium oxide is 85 kilograms. What is the percentage yield? So we are going to find the percentage yield, and the formula for finding the percentage yield is percentage yield is equal to actual mass or the experimental mass, which is always provided by the examiner in the question. So experimental mass divided by theoretical mass and we have to multiply it by 100. And from the given question we can easily see that this is 85 kg of calcium oxide is the experimental mass. We are going to substitute the value 85 kg, but the theoretical mass is unknown, so we have to find this by the unitary method. According to the balanced chemical equation, the calcium carbonate when decomposes, it produces calcium oxide, and unit is 1 unit or 1:1. 1 mole of the calcium carbonate is involved to give 1 mole of the calcium oxide. We have to find the mass, so we have to decide that we are going to apply the ratio method, that is mass ratio mass. So 1 mole of the calcium carbonate occupies or have 100 grams or kgs, then 1 mole of the calcium oxide will have 58. If the mass of the calcium carbonate used was 225, what should be the value? We have to multiply to get the answer of the x, and it is 58 times 225 over 100. So 58 times 225 divided by 100, it is 805.5. Got it? So that we have to, and this is the answer, or sorry, this is the value of the theoretical mass. Then now the main thing is we have to convert this. So now we have to substitute the values, the mass of the calcium oxide is not 58, it's 56, so we have to recalculate, and as a result we definitely have to find the answer, that is 56 times 225 divided by 100, it's 126. So we have to replace the value. So now 85 divided by 126 and into 100, the answer is almost 67.49 something, so we can round it out 67.5%, and accordingly the right answer is C. Hopefully आप working को देख लें, you have to do the working accordingly. So proceeding to the next question. The next question is related to the electrolysis. The diagram shows a simple cell, and in this simple cell we have a voltmeter, we have metal Q, we have metal P, and we know that whenever there is a difference between the two metals' reactivity is greater, the potential difference produced will be higher or larger. So question is, which pair of the metals produces a largest voltage? Magnesium and iron, these are very closer in the reactivity series, so we are not going to choose this option. Magnesium and copper, so somehow this difference is more than the first one. And then the next option is zinc and iron, so there is again no difference between zinc and iron, which are present closer to each other. Same, there is more gap, but the gap at option B is more. For this question you have to remember, whenever the difference in the reactivity series of the two metals is more, the voltmeter will measure more potential difference. So the right option for in this scenario will be B. In the next question, this is question number 12. What are the ionic half equations for the electrode reactions during the electrolysis of concentrated aqueous sodium chloride? For this we have to work it out like this. We have the possible ions, like we have sodium ion, we have chloride ion, we have hydrogen and hydroxide ions from the solution. These two ions from the aqueous salt and these two ions from the water. So as we know that the potential difference of the chloride ion, as the solution is concentrated, so the potential difference of chloride ion is greater, so it will oxidize at anode, converting into the chlorine gas by losing 2 electrons. So the ionic equation will be 2 chloride ion producing chlorine gas and 2 electrons. So we are not going to choose option C and D, as there is no appropriate equation. So we are left with the two options, and you can see that the next is the potential difference of hydrogen ion is greater, so it will definitely gain 2 electrons and convert it into the hydrogen gas. So the right option will definitely, we can say, the option B. Okay, for question number 12, the right option is option B. अच्छा, आपसे ये भी क्वेश्चन पूछा जा सकता है, what will left? So you can see the two ions, that is sodium ion and hydroxide ions, are left, so these will combine to produce sodium hydroxide. ये भी आपने एक्स्ट्रा याद रखना है, ठीक है बेटा. So this is not related to this question, but this will definitely help. So proceeding towards the next question, this is question number 13, and in this question number 13, temperature of water in two beakers X and Y is measured as 21.5 degrees Celsius. 5 grams of the sodium carbonate is dissolved in water. In the beaker X, the temperature changes to 18, so there is a fall of temperature. Whenever the temperature falls, we can say the reaction is endothermic. Okay, so the reaction of X with water is endothermic, is not exo, so we can't choose option C and D. Then 5 grams of calcium oxide is dissolved in water. In the beaker Y, the temperature changes to 29. There is a rise in temperature. Whenever the temperature rises, the reaction is always exothermic. So accordingly, we have to choose option B as our correct option. Then for question number 14, which gases are used to generate electricity in a fuel cell? So remember, oxygen and hydrogen are the two gases which are used to generate energy in a fuel cell. So that's why we are going to choose option C. This is your information and the knowledge, you have to retain it. Oxygen and hydrogen are two gases which are used in the fuel cell. Question number 15. Which row identifies a chemical and a physical change? A chemical change is the one in which electrons are involved, and the physical change is the one in which the atomic masses or molecular masses are involved. Okay, so in short, you have to remember that, and accordingly we can say B is the right option. Why? Burning involves the chemical changes, new compounds, new molecules are formed, whereas evaporation just involves the breakdown of the intermolecular forces. So evaporation is the physical change, whereas burning of the ethanol is chemical change. Then question number 16, a sample of dilute nitric acid is added to lump of the limestone in a conical flask. The conical flask is placed on a balance and the loss in mass is measured. A second sample of the nitric acid of a different concentration is separately tested, all other conditions kept the same. So there is a change of concentration. The loss in mass in 1 minute at each concentration of nitric acid is shown, so we can say that when we used the half concentration, the loss was lesser, and when we used the double concentration, the loss was more. So this explains about the behavior that increasing the rate of reaction is increased, and rate of reaction is increased due to the increase in the collision of the particles, due to the increase in the collision of the molecules or the particles. So we are not going to choose option A and option B as the rate of reaction is decreased, but we can clearly learn that the rate of reaction is increasing. Then this increase is due to the collision between the particles, but not is increasing the particle collision rate and collision energy. So there is no collision energy involved, so just we have to indicate that increasing the particles collision rate. So the right option will be C. For question number 17, when carbon monoxide reacts with hydrogen, methanol is formed. The forward reaction is exothermic. Which statement are correct? There are more moles of the gas on the left hand side of the reaction. So here we have 1 mole, here we have 2. So total moles on the left side we have 3, and the total moles on the right side we have 1. So the option 1 or the suggestion 1 is correct. Got it? Then increasing the temperature increases the amount of methanol at equilibrium. As the reaction is exothermic, so higher temperature is always favoring the endothermic. So this is not true. This is not true. So all those options in which 2 is included is not correct. So we can say option A is incorrect, option C is incorrect. Then we have to check for the 3. Increasing the pressure increases the amount of methanol at equilibrium. Yes, this is fine, as we have more moles on the left. So when we increase the pressure, it will shift it from more moles to the less moles. For option 4, for suggestion 4, increasing the initial amount of hydrogen decreases the amount of methanol at equilibrium. No, it's not correct. As when we increase the concentration of hydrogen, so the moles on the left side increases, leading to the shifting of the equilibrium from left hand side to the right hand side. So we definitely say that option 1 and suggestion 1 and 3 are correct. So accordingly we can say the correct option is B. Now proceeding with the next question. This question number 17. Where is question number 18? So unfortunately there is no, here the question number 18 is here. In the blast furnace, iron is formed when iron 3 oxide reacts with carbon monoxide in a redox reaction. Which substance is the oxidizing agent and which substance is reducing agent? So remember, carbon and carbon monoxide are always the reducing agents. So this is reducing agent, so definitely it will be oxidizing agent. Okay, so we definitely say that as iron is get reduced, so it is what? It is easily oxidizing the carbon monoxide. By itself it is reduced. So carbon monoxide is reducing agent and iron 3 oxide is oxidizing agent. So for question number 18 we have to choose option D as right option. Which oxide is classified as an amphoteric? So we know that aluminium oxide, zinc oxide and lead 2 oxide are all amphoteric. So it's the information, so we have to choose that one. Question number 20. Which statement describes the properties of hydrochloric acid? Carbon dioxide is produced when limestone react. Yes, this is fine. Okay, so as the first option is correct, so we can say the right option is A as well. Got it? So I'm going to save the time, or we just quickly explain. Hydrogen is produced when sodium hydroxide react. No. When alkali and base react, salt and water are formed. No hydrogen gas produced. So option B is incorrect. Methyl orange turn yellow. No, this is the property of base or alkali. Red litmus paper turns blue. No, again this is the property of alkali. So only suggestion A, option A is correct. Then we have to proceed with question number 21. So where is question number 21? Here. This is question number 21. A method used to make copper 2 sulfate crystal is shown. Place dilute sulfuric acid in a beaker, warm the acid, add copper to oxide until it is in excess, filter the mixture. So these are all the suggestions. What are the purpose of step 3 and step 4? Step 3, add copper to oxide until it is in excess. So it is used to completely neutralize all the acid. So to ensure all of the acid has reacted. So we can say option A and B have the similar choice. So we have to say C and D are not correct. Then for step 4, it was filter the mixture to remove unreacted copper to copper to oxide. So accordingly we can say that B is the correct option. Okay, copper to sulfate is soluble, we can't remove it by filtration, so we have to say that B is the right or correct option. Question number 22, lead 2 sulfate is an insoluble salt. Which reaction produces the mixture from which lead 2 sulfate is obtained by filtration? So when we are going to mix 2 soluble salt, we get one soluble and one insoluble. This is called as precipitation, and the precipitated salt can easily be removed by filtration. So for that, question number 22, we can say the best option is D. You can see adding aqueous lead to nitrate. As we know, all nitrates are water soluble, and dilute sulfuric acid is also soluble. So when we mix them, as a result, lead 2 sulfate is produced, which is insoluble, and we can easily filter it out as a residue, as lead 2 sulfate is insoluble. 23, helium is a noble gas. Which statement about helium is correct? So we can say it has 8 electrons. No, this is wrong, as total proton number of helium is 2, so it has 2 electrons in its first and the last shell. It is a diatomic. No, it is a noble gas, and all noble gases exist as monoatomic form. It is reactive. No, so we're left with only one choice, that is D. It is used for filling balloons, so that is fine. Proceeding towards question number 24. In question number 24, which pair of elements reacts together most violently? Calcium and lithium. Which pair of elements react together most violently? Both are metals and will not react easily. Chlorine and potassium, iodine and lithium, iodine and potassium. So for this one, we are going to choose the right option is B, as this non-metal and this is metal, so the reaction can take place. As these are metal, chlorine and lithium, they can react together, but the reactivity of potassium is more than the lithium. So that's why we are going to choose potassium and chlorine. As in group 7, the reactivity decreases from top to bottom, whereas in group 2, the reactivity increases from top to bottom. So remember these 2 points. For question number 25, iron 2 ions can be oxidized to iron 3 ions by hydrogen peroxide. Which statement explains why iron is a transition element? So we have to choose the property that is true for the transition metals, and this is B. Iron is a transition element because it has variable oxidation state. So this is the chemical property of any transition metal. 26. Some properties of substance X are listed. It conducts electricity when molten, it has high melting point, it burns in oxygen, and the oxide dissolves in water to give a solution with pH 11. So we can say alkaline solution. So for this, only thing which we are going to choose is a metal, as metal can make an oxide which can form, or which is a basic. When dissolved in water, it produces an alkali that can have the pH value 11. Question number 27, which row describes the uses of aluminium, copper and mild steel? For that, you have to go and you have to recall the uses of the metals. So for that, A is the right option, as aluminium can be used in aircraft bodies due to its low density. Copper is used in electric wiring due to its good electrical conductivity. Mild steel is used in making car bodies, as it can easily be molded. Okay. Then question number 28. The properties of 4 metals are listed. Metal W does not react with dilute hydrochloric acid, so its reactivity is low. Metal X react with dilute hydrochloric acid, so its reactivity is more than W. Metal Y displaces metal X, so metal Y is more reactive than X, whereas metal Z react with water and dilute hydrochloric acid. So this is again reactive as something which can react with water and acid as well, so it is more reactive. Got it? So accordingly we have to choose option D. So Z is most reactive, Y is reactive than X, whereas X is less reactive and W is unreactive or the least reactive. Then question number 29. Which statement about the extraction of aluminium from aluminum oxide is correct? So we can say pure aluminum oxide is dissolved in molten cryolite. Yes, this is the right option. Got it? I'm going to save the time, that is why I'm going to be very quick. For question number 30, river water contains soluble impurities, insoluble impurities and bacteria. River water is made safe to drink by filtration and chlorination. Which statement is correct? We can say that filtration removes bacteria. No, filtration is not able to remove the bacteria. Filtration removes insoluble impurities. Yes, this is fine. And chlorination kills bacteria. Yes, so B is the right option. No need to go forward. So now I'm going to proceed with question number 31. Which process is used to separate nitrogen and oxygen from air? We know that it is fractional distillation. So the right option is D. 32, very important question. Here you can see there is a damp iron wool and air, and remember that air contains oxygen, there is water as well. So when water and air, oxygen both are present, iron can easily get rusted. When iron gets rusted, some of the oxygen used up. As a result, the water level rises as some deficiency of air takes place. So as a result, water level rises. But as we know that there is only 21% oxygen in the air, so that's why little amount of the air is consumed, and as a result little rise in the water level happens. So we can say B is the right choice. Okay. Next we are going to proceed with question number 33. And in this question number 33 we have a cycle. The question is which process are X and Y. So we are going to look for the X and Y. Animals, then X. So we can say that respiration in the animals can lead to the preparation or the formation of carbon dioxide. So this is, we can say, respiration. So only option, as X is only respiration we have here, so that's why the right option will be D. But we have to check for the Y as well. Power station, so this is combustion. This is combustion, burning. Got it? 34. Ammonium sulfate is used as fertilizer. It is made for ammonia and sulfuric acid, which reverts complete gaps 1, 2 and 3. The dash is made by the ammonia is made by the second process. Ammonia is made by the Haber process, in which iron is used as a catalyst. Okay, so we can say ammonia, Haber process and iron. Ammonia, Haber process and iron. And no, this is not true, so we just have to ammonia and sulfate. Then we have to go for sulfuric acid. If we have to choose sulfuric acid, then we can say that sulfuric acid is made by contact process and vanadium 5 oxide is used as a catalyst. So that's why C is true. ठीक है, क्योंकि हेबर प्रोसेस के साथ कनेक्शन कंप्लीट नहीं हो रहा था, दैट्स व्हाई वी हैव टू चूज फॉर द सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड, एंड फॉर सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड द राइट ऑप्शन इज C. Proceeding towards 35. Which statement about limestone and lime is correct? Limestone combines with water to produce slacked lime? No, as limestone is insoluble in water. Lime is obtained from limestone by oxidation? No, lime is used in the desulfurization of flue gases. Yes, this is correct. And lime is used in treatment of alkaline soil. Is in treatment of the alkaline soil. But he said that which statement about limestone and lime is correct. So this is only for the lime, not for the limestone. Lime is used in the desulfurization of flue gases. This is fine too. But lime is obtained from the limestone by oxidation. ये true नहीं है. And the limestone combined with water to produce. This is not true as well. Lime is used in the treatment of, no, sorry, this is incorrect, as lime is used in treatment of the acidic soil, not the alkaline. So we left it only one option, that is C. 36. Some fractions obtained from petroleum are listed. Which rows are correct? Gasoline is for the waxes. No. Bitumen making roads. Yes. Above kerosene. No. ये वाला point correct नहीं है. Okay, so then we can see kerosene is for the jet fuels. Below gasoline, yes, gasoline से below है. So option 3 is correct. Bitumen makes, यहाँ तक बात ठीक है, but we can say above kerosene oil. नहीं, this is not correct. Gasoline used for making waxes and polishes. Below refinery gases, this is correct, but use is not correct. 4th is refinery gases are used heating and cooking. Yes. Above gasoline. Yes. So 3 and 4 are correct. So then what we have to go for the right option, we can say the option is for 3 and 4. Yes. So 3 and 4 are here in option C. Question number 37. Which products are obtained by cracking of an alkane? So when we crack an alkane, we get alkene, we get hydrogen, but we can't get water. We can't get water. So only option we left with is B, as there is a cross for the water. For question number 38. Ethanol is produced by fermentation or by the reaction of ethene with steam. Which row is correct? We can say use of a temperature of 100. In fermentation we can't use temperature above 37. So option A is not correct. For fermentation needs yeast as a catalyst. Yes, this is correct. Does not need a catalyst. No, this is not correct. Very slow reaction. Yes. Very fast reaction. Yes. So as 2 ticks we get. So right option is C. For question number 39. Here we have a monomer and here we have the polymer. This is alkene, or we can definitely say this is ethene, and this is polyethene. Ethene and polyethene. Ethene and polyethene. So the right option is D. 40. Here is the condensation polymer, and as we have, this is the amide or peptide bond. This is amide bond or peptide bond. So we can say A. And secondly, the repeat units are different. Here we have the gray box, black and white. So as the repeat units are different, this is only for the protein. This is only for a protein. This is not an amino acid. As amino acid, then carbohydrate, kuni sugar, no. So all the options are incorrect. Only C is the correct option. Hopefully beta you understand that. As you know, we finished this paper in under 45 minutes. So hopefully आप भी इसको इसी तरह से solve करेंगे. If you have any specific problem, any question, you can comment, okay, or you can ask directly if you have my contact number. So take care beta. Inshallah I will keep uploading some more solved papers for the IGCSE for your preparation in the mini exam in CIA. So keep in contact, और inshallah मैं upload कर दूँगा if I made next video. And if you have any question, you can comment. I can definitely try to make some video on that too, inshallah. Take care. God bless you. Allah Hafiz.